It's no secret that Manitoba has one of the best craft beer scenes anywhere, and that scene is going to be on full display this weekend. The 8th annual Winnipeg Beer Festival, taking place this Sunday at Fort Gibraltar over on St. Joseph Street, with over 60 different products being showcased by more than 20 of Manitoba's finest local beer and spirit producers. Shawn Brandson is one of the organizers of the Winnipeg Beer Festival. He joins us live in the Classic 107 studios to give us a bit of a preview this morning, or a taster, if you will. Hello, Shawn.
Hi, Nolan. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Any morning we get to talk about beer is a pretty good morning in my book.
Sure.
So the first thing that strikes me about this festival, for its 20 different producers, all of these different products on display, but despite all of that, there's not really any sort of like competitive ill will, it seems, amongst these producers, these craft beer makers. Maybe you can describe a little bit about what the atmosphere is like at the Winnipeg Beer Festival.
Yeah, so it's for the brewers, it's a great community. They help each other out, and we wanted to have a venue to showcase their wonderful products. And Fort Gibraltar, being an amazing space, we do the catering all year long. Lots of weddings. We've been there for 14 years. They do Festival de Voyageur there. It's basically inside the fort walls of Fort Gibraltar. So it's a very unique space to showcase the 20 different brewers, their products, and just just a nice open air area. It lends itself really well for mingling and just enjoying what our province and our city has to offer.
And there are so many of these. I see you have a list of the different breweries that will be present at this event, and I'm just glancing and I'm seeing some very familiar faces to Manitoba beer consumers, but also some ones that I'm maybe less familiar with myself. What can people expect to encounter when they are at the beer festival this weekend? Yeah,
there's a number of brewers. There's also some mead producers and spirits. They basically get a wide variety of things that you can sample. This festival is a festival being around for a number of years, where people will have something new that they've been sampling. They may bring a keg of something that isn't available quite yet, that people can sample and feature. Last year there was a lot of different sours. They're bringing a lot of different sours to the market, which are very complex and wonderful when they go through that second process with the sour. And then also Brat Cat Mead was the first year, an incredible mead. In our market, everything that they make is phenomenal. So you always find these little gems, some old favorites, and then also something new. But the styles of beer that they're making and the quality of beer that we're making in our province is exceptional. We used to own a restaurant called Promenade Cafe and Wine, sold it just after COVID. But we had 95% of our beers on our menu were all made in Manitoba, because you could find a different example of all the different beers, and what's neat is that you have the makers, you have the owners of the breweries there one-on-one, and you can say, I enjoy this style of beer or this kind of beer. Chances are they'll point you to another booth and say, try this, or I have an example of that, which is part of that community that you described.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's working towards a common goal of promoting local.
You mentioned those different sorts of flavors that were a part of last year's beer festival, with all these complex sours and this new mead that was on. As you've watched the festival develop over these last 8 years, what are some of the things that you've noticed as far as trends go with the way that Manitoba beer makers are experimenting with different types of brews?
Yeah, so we find that what they're doing is they're taking a classic style. So very early on, they were playing around with different Belgium styles. So it's that sort of mid-range beer with some nice aromatics, coriander, different things that you would find in different Belgian beers. So what's interesting is that, and I'm involved pretty heavily in the wine industry, and you always go into countries and you say, well, if you're in France and you're in Burgundy, you're going to have a Pinot Noir. What is the minerality? How concentrated is the grape, because it's a light grape? And they have a style for a region. But then you go to an area like Australia, where it's just it's like the Wild West. They can do whatever they want. They're using grapes that are traditional, and then they can do different styles. Well, we've got a mix of both here because they would take, say, a German beer that's a little bit on the darker side, but they want to move into some more of that Guinness kind of style. So they'll make it even darker, and they're not tied to rules. But it will have some hints of what's there because they're dealing with, the same quality products everyone is around the world, but everything's being crafted here locally.
Absolutely. What are some of the maybe new elements that people, without giving too much away, because we want people to show up and check it out for themselves, what are some of the new elements that you're excited about for this year's Winnipeg Beer Festival?
Well, just to revisit and just to see what they're going to be bringing in their casks and that sort of thing. Things that aren't quite to market, that's definitely something I'm interested in. And just sampling everything again in one place. So as a restaurateur, even as a consumer, you have your favorites and you stick with your favorites. But now we can try different styles, different beers, and try to find a new favorite or a different example. Like whether it's a lighter beer like a Corona style like the Torque Cerveza, or a hazy ale like the Blue Whaler. It's just there's the different things that you can try, and you never know what they're going to make.
What does this event mean to the different producers when it comes to what happens after the festival? In other words, as they participate in the festival this weekend, and then as they go back into their sort of run-of-the-mill daily sort of operations, what does this festival mean to them when it comes to inspiration, perhaps? What do you hear from producers about that?
We've had really good uptake as far as people returning and stuff like that to the festival. They find it as a great marketing term. We're unique in that we don't charge the brewers to be part of this event. It's completely free to attend event. Other ones, they charge lots of money, and we don't do that. It creates some momentum for new brand launches. It gives them an opportunity to talk about their tap rooms. Many of these breweries have tap rooms where you can go in and sample the different beers. What's interesting about the tap rooms too is that many of the tap rooms have beers from other brewers there. They just want to share the different styles with their friends. So you make a great night out going to the different tap rooms or a tap room tour. I think it's something that people really look forward to, especially the brewers, to showcase what they're all about. I hope to think that it helped. We started this when there was only a couple of breweries that just first started, and then now there's over 36. Either bricks and mortar brewers or contract brewers that brew inside the different places to release their stuff. So there's a lot of variety, and it's just a great event.
Yeah. What does this event show you about how Manitoba's craft beer scene compares to maybe other craft beer scenes across the country and your work across the restaurant industry?
Yeah. I mean, there's some great breweries across our country that aren't the big guys, and many of those breweries from Ontario and Saskatchewan want to be part of this event, and they're great products, but we've always kept it Manitoban. I think that the scene before all the breweries started, where there was something called the Winnipeg Brew Bombers, and they get together and they brew their things, and then they give away awards. I mean, this expansion has given them an opportunity to go commercial and to showcase things. I think that what we serve here in Manitoba is high quality. There's Canadian awards that many of the brewers have put their beers out, and they're getting golds, they're getting silvers, they're getting best of show for many of these things. So It's a really high quality products that they're giving out, and I'd recommend them without a hesitation.
Well, the recommendation is going to be a lot easier for Classic 107 listeners to take part in, Shawn, because I understand that you have a special discount for people listening right now.
Yeah, we have a special discount that is promo code 107, and you just need to go to our website, winnipegbeerfestival.com, or go to Eventbrite. Eventbrite is where we're selling the tickets. Put in the promo code 107, and you will get $10 off your tickets. So,
that is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we'll link to both of those things at our website this morning, classic107.com and the Classic 107 app. So that's promo code 107 gets you $10 off tickets to this weekend's Winnipeg Beer Festival.